Ladies and gents, it's episode 13 of Blissfully Unaware. Alright, so we're going to take care of the sponsor right up front on this one, but keep listening for Hale's Def Jam submission strategy and an explanation of science's role in an age where rapid progress has left us grappling for meaning. Real quick sidebar with you guys, we're doing a longer form on this, trying to check out a slightly different format for the podcast. Let us know if you like it. Please feel free to leave a comment. But yeah, let's get right into it.
Snackies.
All right.
Just do a quick plug to our sponsors here.
Belvita.
Actually, these are pretty good, but I don't love them. But I think my mom must have scooped these up for like protein. Got 10 grams in them, 2 crackies. Not bad.
Don't appreciate that.
What's that?
2 crackies.
2 couple crackies in here. Protein crisps. And then you got these. These are nice. All right. These are weird little dark raspberry protein bites right here. There's another 8 grams. All right. I had half of mine to make a shake, but too loud. Didn't want to wake up the parents.
That's probably smart.
1 cracky.
1 cracky?
Look at that. Look at the thickness on that.
Dude, we get this thing, the Belvita banana breads. They're like, it's that, but banana bread flavored. And my dad fucking loves them. I hate how much he loves them. Like,
really?
Yeah, like he jokes about it. It's like weird. It's like one of his things. It's like,
wait a minute.
What?
This is amazing. Blueberry almond protein, bro. Call me Mr. Moral. This is fucking delicious.
Call me Mr. Moral.
Oh my god,
bro! I gotta turn this light on because this shit is like setting me off so much.
Really?
Like, yeah, like I keep looking up and just seeing a light going. I was like, am I tripping? Like, what's going on right now? So I just had to move it. I situate it.
Good shit. Wow.
Black background. Hell. Bro.
Wow. Dude, I think we'd be cool to start the podcast. I know we're going to the list. I'm saying we should make a list for every podcast and then start it by saying it's time to get to the list. Then we have like this laundry list of shit that's on our mind.
Oh my god. We should wait. Is there a way to make like a shared note? Like, can you do a shared note that we can just add to throughout the week whenever we have a thought?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Or
in the Google Drive, we'll make a doc.
I feel like I definitely won't. I won't do it if it's like a Google Drive, because I'll just forget to do that. There's no way to like do it on notes.
Maybe. Oh yeah,
bro. I feel like we could.
Dude, we could. That's true. I didn't think of that. Like an iCloud shared note.
Yeah, is that? I feel like that's a thing.
It might be.
I don't know. But yeah, have you used like the speech to text thing?
Yeah.
I spam that like all the
time. I love that.
It's just like stream of consciousness where you just kind of go dot dot dot, and as long as you have words, you can read through it backwards. It only fucks up if you stutter. So if you get into that stream of consciousness, you can just read it back. You're like, what the fuck? Like,
so sick. I love that, dude. I use it too when I can't spell a word. I'm a trash speller.
Really? I feel like the spelling game I really excelled at in elementary school. I
Really?
Varsity for that. But math, it was like I had an issue. Like I'm talking below population. Like
really?
Yeah, like bottom few percent. I don't know. I suck at math for some reason.
Dude, you have a very like strong, like you have a big strength in English, which is like makes sense, like especially in writing, which
Dude,
makes sense maybe why you wouldn't be as good as math.
dude, speaking of writing, have you like how many poems have you been doing? Like, how hard would it be to like use that poem in a in like a description of a video? Like, I feel like that could be a cool thing.
That'd be dope, dude. I haven't thought of that.
I don't know if you'd be cool with that. Like, obviously, we would have to be better about like keeping notes during the pod. But
We're watching it back over, dude. I love that.
yeah,
I should do that. I haven't written one yet, in a while, but
it doesn't have
I'm
to be
gonna.
like a regular thing. I just thought like that could be pretty cool.
That'd be dope, dude. I would definitely do that. I'm gonna write one soon, bro. I kind of write them like it's kind of like a weird thing. I'll just be like, in my zone, like late at night usually, and
Yeah,
I'll just go off for like an hour just writing one. But they're not like crazy good or anything, but they're fun.
yeah.
And and I'm gonna write one for Carolyn for Christmas. So um, I'll be in the zone, bro. So I'll write one about this too.
All right, dude. I feel like that's a really hard thing to like get right. Like Callie has so many poetry books and I've read some of them in there and I'm like, I don't even like understand like this format. Like what
Oh,
is really
dude, I don't even like. I like the shit with the rhythm. Like I like the rhythm and the imagery. I don't like the weird, like off balance poetry that's like hard to even read because it's like written so like in such a weird way that like it doesn't flow at all. I don't fuck with that. I'm all about the flow.
what do you so like everything rhymes. Like does it read like a rap verse?
It usually rhymes.
Okay, all right.
It reads like a poem rap. Yeah. It, it reads like a rap would if it was a poem.
It sounds like Def Jam.
A little bit.
That's it. That's kind of sick.
Well, it's fun, dude. I do enjoy that. I definitely will do that for this one, bro.
All right, all right. We gotta get on a fucking we gotta get on a topic. The problem
All
is looking at all of these and like
The list.
with the list. Boom, 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 boom. We wanted we wanted aliens. I don't think I'm in the headspace to talk about that. I'm so anti-alien right now. I'm just like
Yeah, fuck 'em.
knowledge has pew, shot
Yeah.
out of my head.
Me too. Forget that.
The shit you said about science being just like a mechanism, just a way to like not even you said not understand things. It was just like to get things done. Like
Right.
it's like having a common set of rules. Like it's kind of fucked up. It's like societal cohesion.
So let's explain this for the people. So like
Yeah.
we're totally just stepping right on the back and toes of Joe Rogan right now. But I was listening to one of his podcasts while I was landscaping today. And he was talking to this guy. What did I say his name was? Alexis or something?
It was a weird first name.
There, I got it right here. Basically he was just Moxie. And this dude Moxie. And basically he was saying how we don't really use, like, it's his opinion that we don't use science anymore to find the truth, or not usually. Like right now, like societal's use for science is for what did I say? For function instead of truth. So like
Okay.
his example was in school they teach like Newton's physics, even though they learned about like quantum mechanics.
Right.
So
Right.
and they think that that's probably right. So it's not the truth. Like Newton's physics like probably isn't the full story. It's not really the full truth or even the truth at all, depending on who you talk to.
Right.
But it helps people to understand the way the world works. It's
Yeah.
functional to
Its own
teach.
its own religion, like in a sense. But also
Right.
like I feel like that quantum mechanics thing is difficult because Newtonian physics deals with like larger objects, right? So like
You
wouldn't
can understand.
but isn't quantum mechanics like I thought quantum mechanics was almost a different set of physical laws. Um, so it's like, but they only apply at that really, 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 really minuscule level.
Right.
So I thought that meant like it was like two different sets of laws for both of them, and you needed to like calculate things like accordingly with like their own respective like equations or measurements or whatever. Um, I don't know if that's true. It might be the quantum mechanics, but I feel like I just went really deep into the weeds on that because
All
the main
good.
point of this is the trust in science, like it is interesting because it doesn't offer much meaning, but it's also necessary for progress. So if we hope to make progress, we need to like get to that like level of understanding, like as a society, as a culture, like as humans, that we can like just use this thing. It doesn't have to be a belief system, even though so many of us are inclined to have a belief system. It's like whatever your beliefs are, make that your own belief system. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
I'm all about like the humanist approach. Like I really think people need to think more humanistically. Like the divine, if that's what you want to call it, like that is within you. Like every person has that. So it's like, looking to like another place for your like divine inspiration or sense of meaning or whatever. It's like you're gaining meaning just by being here. Like every interaction you have, like interacts another person, like it changes them, right? Like I don't know. I think an inherent thing with humans, if we're not like narcissistic, is we want to believe in like a higher power. But like it's like what does that look like? That's the problem. I don't know, man. I feel like the older I've gotten and the more like psychedelic drugs I've taken, I'm getting more prone to believing in like something being like out there. Because when I was younger, I was just like straight up atheist, which I think came from wanting a belief system. So I just used science as a belief system. So I was like, fuck that. Like, there can't be any kind of like thing out there, but for sure,
Right.
there's some kind of energy. Like,
Dude,
yeah,
that's what that astronaut said on the podcast, bro. He was saying he's not religious enough to be an atheist because he can't believe that, like, he just couldn't convince himself that there wasn't something.
yeah, yeah. Like, I feel like I remember he was talking about it like, you know, a really important experience for him was getting off the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was able to go like, whoa, like now I feel at home anywhere on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's so fucking cool. Like,
That was mad cool.
yeah, that blew my mind. That was like, do I want to be an astronaut now?
Yeah, mad cool.
Yeah, that could be like such an interesting experience, but also like I feel like you can get that. Like you can get off the planet in a way by going another route, like being a monk, like they basically get off the planet. They're like, you know, they're
It's like
just
seeing from the mountain, but like way different, like way more.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like symbolic of that high place where you can see all, but it's also like, they're straight up like ascending. Eh, like Tibetan monks, right? Don't they do like how much meditation do they do every day?
Like all day.
Yeah, dude, that is insane. It's like tripping constantly.
Yeah.
Getting into like, I feel like maybe once I've been able to get into like a deep meditative state. I've been doing those breathing exercises. I've been doing those every night and
What
really
one?
just
Oh yeah.
the tidal breathing thing. I've been doing it every night, and it's been like I've been feeling like I've been having dreams in between like right before the veil of sleep has like fallen, you kind of feel like you're in this like shadow world, and you just like you see shit and you're like, whoa. Or like you think of things where you're like, why did I just think of that? And then you pass out. Like,
Damn. I wish I could talk to you, dude, because they say that like the monks like can meditate, and like the all of the like science, all of the scientific tools that they're using to monitor that monk
yeah,
like says that he's asleep. But after the meditation, he could tell you everything you were saying, which means he couldn't have been asleep. But like they like scientifically his body was like considered to be sleeping.
yeah. See, that's fucking nuts. Like,
So cool,
I,
dude.
I saw the story where it was like they found the body of a preserved monk somewhere. It was in like a snowy area, and monks who looked at it said he's not dead. He's in a deep meditative state. But it was from 340 years ago. Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's true though, but because they monitored it and they were like, he's dead. There's like no heartbeat. And they were like, he's in a deeply meditative state that is similar to a coma. And they're like, but there's no heartbeat. And they were like, there shouldn't be. Isn't that? I was like, what?
Whoa.
Yeah. What if it came
I think
out?
he did that on purpose.
What if? What if it came out that he was?
Oh my God, I would fucking lose my mind.
That would spawn a massive Buddhism movement. Everyone would
I
go,
was just gonna say, dude, you could see me in 5 minutes with my bag packed on the way to the fucking Himalayas. 100%.
yeah.
100% I'm in.
It's literally like he achieved nirvana. He found his way out of the matrix. That's a crazy movie, by the way. I'm not trying to move away from this topic, but the Matrix, fucking like bonkers.
Dude, I need to see it.
You ever seen the Matrix?
I've never seen it, dude.
Yeah, what?
I
You
know.
need to watch that movie.
I know. There's a few like that, man, that I've just never seen.
Oh my god, dude, the Matrix is so well done. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's an allegory for exactly how we live. Like, I highly recommend it. Like, get a little bit
I'll
high,
check it out.
tastefully high, like 3 rips high,
Mm-hmm,
and then like watch it. It'll hit you, and you just be like, "What? What?" Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I watched it when I was younger, so like I think it really hit me then because that was like a formative period.
Right.
So I might have also just been susceptible to it because I'm a massive like nerd about sci-fi and like fantasy and all that. But I really think it's a good movie.
I'll check it out and let you know, bro. We'll talk about it on
Yeah,
the pod.
dude, I think you really fuck with it.
I bet I would.
Yeah, dude. Okay, speaking of like spiritual endeavors, I was talking to my sister who's really into astrology, and she was like, did you know we're entering like the age of Aquarius? And I was like, what is that? And like I feel like I've always like kind of like pushed it off and been like, oh, I don't know if like I believe in that.
Me too.
She was like, check this out. We are entering like the age of Aquarius, which is all about like self-discovery and like empathy and like cohesiveness. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. I was like, wait, so how long did the ages last? She was like, oh, like 1,000 years. And I was like, okay, what was the last age all about? And she was like, oh, it was all about greed and exploiting the earth. It's a negative earth sign, she said. And she was like, it was about personal will. And I was like, that's exactly what's happened. Like,
do you think somebody just threw those rules in though? Or is this stuff that's been written years and years ago, you know, like
I don't think it's been around for more than 1,000 years. But
right.
I do think it's like it comes at a weird time.
Dude, Sign me up for fucking empathy and selflessness and that whole thing, dude. I would be so down to turn the fucking page and start a new
Yeah,
chapter, bro.
it's all about like, dude, it could be like the summer of love for a millennia.
What
Like,
a beautiful world that would be.
I know. I'm so hyped. So we figured out a date for the trip. Um, we got these candy bars. You know the picture that I sent into the Snap group, the candy bar things that
Yeah.
like they're just it's mushrooms.
No way.
Yeah, it's 3.5 grams of shrooms, but the guy was like, these hit harder because they're like edible. And I was like, well, they're already edible. And he was
Yeah.
like, no, there's something else done. I was like, okay. So there's there's something else done to these that makes them more than just shrooms, I guess.
Good. Interesting.
So we're gonna do it on New Year's Eve and trip into the new year.
That's sick.
A full like, you know, a full coming to, like a new person, new year. Like, yeah, I'm excited. I
Like
feel like
hashtag New Year, New Me.
exactly. I feel like that's gonna become a thing. Like
Dude,
I want to
dude,
make that a ritual trip on New Year's.
that's sick. Dude, I gotta say, what do you think people are gonna be doing at the end of this year, bro? Just like burning calendars and fucking like swearing off the fucking 2020. Like, do you think that
It's,
that's like,
there's going to be a huge cultural like shift where we're all going to go, we need to go hard in 2021.
I think
2021 is going to be bonkers.
I hope so, dude. I hope they do all that shit.
I'll tell you what, dude, so many people are getting vaccinated. This summer is going to be the craziest summer.
Does it seem does it seem like people are really are going out and doing it?
Yeah, dude.
But
Okay,
the general public's not allowed to do it yet, right?
the public isn't. But healthcare workers, dude, Derek, he's getting vaccinated tomorrow, and he works as
What?
a CNA. My aunt works as like a ICU nurse. She got vaccinated like a week ago.
Oh my God, that's so good,
Hell,
bro.
happening. My parents are public school teachers. They're getting vaccinated either January or February. So it's
Word.
just gonna keep going like this and going like this. This summer is gonna go stupid.
Dude, the thing about the vaccination, 95% accurate.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I know. I'm hoping that we ordered enough where everybody's gonna be able to get it. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be the reality, but bro,
It could be. It could be.
I'm incredibly hopeful for it. Like I don't think we're gonna fuck it up. I mean,
Dude,
people are just gonna start going out. It's gonna be like, oh, everybody's fine. They're like, yo, my parents got the vaccine and we normally kiss. And everybody's like, okay,
yeah.
cool. Like we
Dude,
got the vaccine, so we're set.
bro, wait until the first semester of our senior year.
Yeah.
If we're all vaxxed up,
Yeah. I think
what
everybody's gonna be back. I think COVID's gonna be just it's gonna
do
be
you
like
think are you that optimistic? Really? Like
yeah, you have to be. Bro, it's not sticking around.
it
Like
can't.
it just
We can't let it. I'm
that's
scared.
what it is. We're not gonna let it.
I'm scared that like my biggest fear with this, and I don't know why I feel like this is gonna happen. Like I saw this news post that someone posted, and it was like, oh, New Zealand's officially like 100% COVID free, like whatever. I was saying to my family, I feel like we're never gonna see that headline here because like
But
we
no,
never see not because we're never gonna be COVID. Well, yeah, we're probably never gonna be 100% COVID free, which is like whatever. That's kind of a stupid thing. I don't think you're ever 100% COVID free, but like
unless you're New Zealand, I guess.
apparently, bro.
You don't you think that's fake news?
Well, no, I mean like fucking in the year when they open the border, dude, there's gonna be a case gets like you know,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
for
Well,
1 second.
okay. All right.
But my point is the news cycle is just so negative that we're never I'm just my biggest fear in this truly is that it's never gonna end. Like we're always gonna be in like this state where we're told to be careful and stay inside. Like that's my biggest fear. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, what if it does?
You
Like, I
won't.
don't know.
Bro, don't even worry about that because it's just not going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to end up in a place where, I mean, I saw that Russell Brand guy I was talking to you about,
Yeah.
his video. I follow him on YouTube and he just posted something where he was like, is the pandemic facilitating wealth and power transfer? And he was talking about the possibility of us being like locked down just continuously, even after the vaccine. I don't think it's going to happen. Just there's too many people who are like, no, like that's not, after a certain level, you just have to say, okay, let's go back. Because for sure there is a wealth and power transfer happening right now. This
Right.
is like, how do we create monopolies? It literally is, if you were creating a simulation, this is exactly what you would use to bring it into the darkest future.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Ari Shafir, he has this podcast. He just did one with Tim Dillon. It's called Skeptic Tank.
Yeah.
It's really good. They were talking about the fact that, the consolidation that's happening right now in terms of like no businesses being able to do anything, like small businesses at least. Large businesses are just gonna like they're gonna be all we have.
Yeah.
It's literally it's a collusion thing. Like they're realizing that this is the moment to seize power, and they can seize power totally. Like it's crazy, but
That's what I'm worried about, dude.
it's already happened. Like
I know Walmart was essential this entire time.
it was, yeah. I mean, Amazon too. Like
Right. All these massive companies, dude, but fucking Coffee O is gonna put it out on the porch. Shout out Coffee O, best fucking coffee in town. They're gonna go put it out on the porch, dude.
yeah,
And I'm not gonna see a damn soul, and they can't open for, however long. Like
yeah,
it's crazy. It's really disturbing, dude. Like you don't need Walmart when you have a grocery store. So like what in there is a necessity,
right.
It's like
Well, purely because they're everywhere, which
right,
is difficult because you kind of have to keep those open because it's also a massive job supplier.
right.
So it's like,
My point is like if you're gonna keep that open, like you should be able to keep open that small business too, and they're just getting fucked.
I agree.
Yeah, dude. But the good thing is the vaccine mad effective. I was shook too because they got this new strain over in Europe, bro. We don't want that shit.
Saw that. What even is that though? What is that really?
It's just, the virus fucking mutated. So I figured, all right, well,
It's mutated so many times. What's worse about the one in the UK though?
I don't know. They just said there's a new strain. Maybe there's nothing worse and it's just making a headline. But he said the doctor was like, I was kind of shook. And then the doctor was like, well, like, the vaccine works on, it's going to have to change a lot before the vaccine doesn't work. So that's good news
Yeah.
for me, bro, for everyone. I'm ready, dude. Take my shit. Do we go back to school? Oh, man. I'm not going to be an RA for long, bro.
I'm worried.
They're gonna fire my ass, dude. I'm gonna be off the walls.
Bro, I know. When everybody, it's just like, okay, go ahead. It'll be like opening the floodgates.
Ensuing like the burning of, dude, maybe it'll be like a new roaring 20s will ignite from this.
I think so. I really think so.
We have to make that happen.
It will. It just will.
We already shot 1 year out for the sacrifice. We already poured one out for the lost homies. And from here, bro, we just send.
Yeah.
Ascend.
I think everybody's going to be down for it, which is going to be tough because we're graduating this year. So I think you're going to see just a national drop in GPAs.
Good. Have you been seeing the headlines too, bro? There's like all these schools investigating massive cheating scandals. I'm like, bro, what are you investigating? Everyone's at home on their iPhone and looking up the answers to your bullshit exam that you're milking them thousands of dollars to take. Fuck you. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, exactly. Bro, I love our generation because
Yeah.
everybody's just like everybody's so real. Like well, I mean, some people obviously don't, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. The people who get it are.
yeah, yeah. It's great. Like, has there been a generation like this going
I
back?
don't think we're pretty weird. I think we
Yeah,
see things a lot differently. And not just like a
yeah.
woke. It's not a woke thing. It's not like a we're better than you thing. It's like a
It just comes from being the first social media generation.
yeah,
Yeah.
that for sure. We have like this world's eye with technology that no one else had before. It's
Right.
fascinating. It's you're just like, oh, like I'm learning about like 17 different things like through YouTube and like just like it's not learning like the typical educational sense. It's like
Right.
you're just like plugging in all these inputs from all of this information from around the world, dude. And the internet is
Right.
like just such a hub for that. It's so amazing. And I think that go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you become a citizen of the world so fast. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're interacting, like you're linking with just all of these different places at once.
Yeah. And I think that's really what gives us that different, like our generation, just like a little bit of a different perspective, dude. I think it's pretty cool. I think we
Yes.
could really like use some unity as well, though, you know?
If they wanted to solve the political divide in our like age group, they'd bring Vine back and that would cure it all. I
They
really
bring
believe that.
Vine back.
Cure it all.
What dickhead took away Vine, bro? I gotta say.
Winner, dude, Jack Dorsey can suck my dick because
There's, yeah,
Vine would have died eventually, but it was so pure for such a specific period of time because since there was no way to monetize it, it was just the super creative people.
yeah.
And everybody realized that it was like, oh, our culture should be weird because there's all
Mm.
these people now on TikTok who can get easy corporate sponsorships. And they've created this weird kind of culture where, like, dude, like Charlie D'Amelio, she's only 16, right? She's already incredibly famous. She's already dead inside. Like, have you seen like any interviews that like any of them have done? Like,
Yeah, she's not
TikTok
in good shape.
person just talking, they're like, what is wrong with you? You have no substance to you.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole thing about Vine was like, look at how weird this is. Like, the
Yes,
humor
and
was like,
so funny,
yeah,
so pure.
exactly.
Check out this social media fucking thing that just clicked to me. Um, we started with like Twitter and Facebook, and those things are like, just words mostly, and then Facebook goes adding pictures and stuff to that. And then, dude, like, that's like the early form of social media. You just write stuff out to people online. And then like Instagram comes out and you post shit.
Yeah.
It's like you're like at first you're uploading your thoughts to the internet, and then you're uploading your physical experiences to the internet.
Yeah.
And now we're on TikTok and we're uploading everything, our thoughts, our
And
opinions, our voice,
it's
our
all
intonations.
it's not just text. You can't do just a picture. It's all video. It's the most
It's you speaking. It's like the most effective social media becomes more and more human as it develops.
also the fact that it immediately autoplays whatever. Its
Yes.
algorithm is insanely accurate.
Horrifying.
It's fucked up. It puts people
Horrifying.
in more subgroups because people want to belong to a group. So the more specific you can make it, people will feel accepted because it's a more specific net. Like, it's so fascinating. Like, where
Yeah.
is the next place we're going with this? Because somebody else is going to have the next big one. Like, and with it, everything brings like a new kind of cultural revolution. It's so weird.
It's
Like,
cool.
bro, I remember when Instagram was first coming out. I remember watching that. Like, did you ever watch Equals 3 when you were younger? Oh my
No.
God. There's this dude, Ray William Johnson, who was like, it was like the Tosh.0 of YouTube.
Oh,
Like,
wait. That name sounds familiar. I might have seen it.
yeah, it was like crazy internet videos, and you were like, whoa. And like, dude, low key, I miss that like
Yeah.
time period of the internet where it was the wild, wild west and people were just out doing shit. And now it's all just like TikTok drama.
Well, it's TikTok drama, but if you can get not pulled into the fucking bullshit that is like that part of TikTok, like it's really given us, I feel like my credentials for saying that our generation is cool and my like or like my data, my evidence is TikTok because it's such a window into the people who are our age,
Yeah,
into their lives. It's what they're doing, it's what they're interested in. It's all these things. So if you have like three different hobbies that you're into, like you've seen them on TikTok.
right.
And just from, whatever it is, like waiting 2 or 3 seconds on that, watching it all the way through, checking out an account, like you're getting spammed with all that stuff. And then we're seeing like that's like it's not like we have to go to the top of the mountain to see the town now. Like now we have to scroll through TikTok to see the town.
Right.
And like
That's
this is our
incredible.
town.
Yeah. Dude, that's a very positive way to look at it. Like, yeah. I
It's
wonder,
cool.
because like I go through these like existential cycles where it's like, um, you know, am I blinding myself by not paying attention to what's going on like politically and being like upset about it for like a good
Mhm.
reason, but also like, um, am I just hurting myself? Like, am I just making myself more upset?
Right.
Like, I've been like a beautiful headspace recently, and it's largely been because I haven't been paying that much attention to politics. Like, because it just makes me so upset. Like, I lose this weird thing happens where like I lose sight of the humanity of the other side, and then I'm just like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe people think this way.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it always follows some kind of spiritual growth where I feel like I understand myself better. That I'm like, how can anybody live totally for themselves? And then I'm just like, I get mad because I see the way it impacts like so many people. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's dangerous, man. Like, so I go through these cycles with social media where I'm like, I don't want to just fall like totally into this one hobby. And then I'm like, oh, I hate it because it does fall totally into that hobby. And it's getting so many people to not pay attention to their actual life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
which bummer, bummer perspective. But I think it's important sometimes. It's important to at least be aware. Like my worry with like TikTok and a lot of these other like social media things, like for sure there's a political side of it, but it also restricts somebody's world to just their feed. For a lot of
Mm.
people during quarantine, your feed is kind of like your world. Like whether you like it or not,
So true.
it really is. Like
Really is.
uh, what do you do if your feed is a really restricted view of the world where you're not seeing like the injustices and you're not seeing the way you and your neighbor are being hurt? Like it just
Right.
feels like this perfect situation for the transition to an Orwellian society to be created. And it's just like,
Yeah.
fuck, do I want to get there? I don't think so. Like
Yeah.
Fahrenheit 451, this shit kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. It's really weird.
It's
Bro,
it's yeah.
this shit makes me want to go back and read all those books just to like get a better understanding of it now.
Yeah.
I've been, dude, reading again recently. I'm like, I forgot how much I was missing out on like an
Yeah.
aspect of myself. When
Me
I was
too.
younger, I read so much when I was younger, and
Mm.
like I missed like what hardcover books you get into this flow state of reading where you're just like,
Unreal.
yeah, you feel everything. Yeah.
Yeah. That is gas. That is the best shit ever. I love that. I used to read a lot too. I
It's
wonder if we'll be. What's that?
it's tough. Like it's tough getting away from like TV and easy entertainment.
Yeah, it's so easy. Like it's just honestly, it's like I'll hang out with Carolyn and we'll be into like a show or whatever. It's like, oh, let's watch a couple episodes of this, and like 2 hours goes by, and like it's awesome. Like first of all, the show's good. I'm sitting on the couch, like cuddled up with Carolyn. It's fucking great. Your brain is just dead, and it's like I'm like, all right, like I want to start doing more things with her and with myself that like just make me think. It's like I just want to stop being so um preoccupied, or like easily like stimulated. Like I want to go for that stuff that's harder for me to like a puzzle, dude. I'd rather fucking eat my foot than do a puzzle. I hate that shit. But like, why is that? Like, why don't I have patience? And
Right.
somebody told me like a friend of mine from school was saying that when they met me, I was always in a rush. Like 3 years ago, when we were freshmen and they met me, they were saying like I was always in a rush. I was always like a little bit impatient. I was like fast paced.
Yeah.
And then they said like now like I just seem like a lot more patient and like
Right.
I've slowed down. Like I'm not working like to get somewhere. Like I'm just kind of going.
Right. Right.
And I didn't really I kind of they were like, why do you think that is? Like what has it been like that's changed? And I was like, I don't know. Like I think just starting to like process everything. You're just like, okay, like where am I rushing off to? Why am I like, this, that, and the other thing? And it's like experiences like a TV show is rushing your day.
Yeah.
It's like a fast forward button.
I know. Well, dude, all entertainment kind of feels like that. Even like
Yeah.
when I first got into podcasts, I was like, this is good because I feel like I'm learning something. And now it's just like it feels like it's just for entertainment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's like I put that on and I feel bad about it. Like
Me too.
it's
Not as
interesting. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say no. I was just gonna say it's not as fun as like listening to a book is not as fun as listening to a podcast.
Yeah, it's not as fun. Like I think reading like the actual thing and having it in front of you just feels like it feels better. Like
Yeah.
because you feel like tied into it. Like
Right.
I remember when I was younger, like I read what was it called? I have it over here. Um oh what the fuck? All right, I can't find it, but
It's fine.
dude, it was some kind of like fantasy series that I loved, and I was like, I read it, and I would like feverishly read this thing, like, and I made it through like the whole trilogy. And while I was reading it, I was placing everything from that book onto like reality, and like it's weird. The trippy brain of a child is just like they're experiencing everything so profoundly that it's just
Yes.
it's impacting their development so much.
Yeah. Their
Like,
creativity's off the charts, bro.
yeah, like
That's really cool. I didn't think of it like that. Yeah, your perspective's wild as a kid.
incredibly creative, and also just like you want to understand everything because there's
Yeah.
just so much. Everything feels novel. Like I think uh reading at that age, it made it feel like some kind of like oddly psychedelic experience where you're like reading something and truly understanding it and like intaking it. And I think I got poisoned by the fact that that stopped to happen as I got older. You know,
Right.
maybe I should microdose and like read a book.
Dude, I've been reading a little bit. I asked for mad books for Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, some like personal finance stuff and then some history.
Mm,
I asked my dad for the Frederick Douglass memoir, autobiography.
really?
Yeah, and he was like, "Dude, my dad's really well read,
Yeah.
and he's a really good reader, and he reads fast as fuck. Like my dad reads down the middle of the page, and like the other words just like fill in, I guess.
What?
Yeah, he reads crazy fast. And he goes, dude, you might not want to read that. He was like, that dude was so fucking smart. He was like, that is a really, really tough read. Like, you might have a hard time reading that. I was like, okay. Like, I was like, all right, like, you think it's a little over my head? And he's like, no. Like, cause he's like always like, he's really good like that. He's always like, no, it's not like, it couldn't be over my head. It could, I'm sure it's way over my head. He's like, no, it's not. It can't be. And like, he's good like that. Like, that's something that I really like
Yeah.
about my dad. He he will never like put you down like that. You're never like not smart enough. But he was like, you might want to get a book about him that
Right.
like has like passages and shit. So I found some other shit. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to get back into reading, and like I tried to make the majority of my Christmas list books.
That's dope. Dude, there's these secondhand bookstores around me.
Mm.
And it's like it's like thrifting books and you get it for like $2, $3, $4. Like,
That's good.
yeah, like I went to Barnes and Noble the other day because like there's this podcast called Lore that's really cool, and like they made a book about it. So it's like, dude, it's so cool. It's all like it's like the history of like monsters. Like it's the history of like weird like superstitions and like different areas of like the world or like this country. But at that like at that like thrifted store, they have a ton of classics, and it's like there's a reason these things are classics. Like I remember reading them at the time and having a huge effect on me, but now that I have like a different world view, like it's just I had more time to consider everything. Like it would probably affect me so much more. Like
Yeah.
it's weird. It's weird. Like I was talking with my dad earlier today about like I wish I could almost go back to like the lessons we would learn in high school now, just because like that was such approachable material and it was so general. Whereas
Yeah.
you'd be able to gather so much meaning, so much more meaning from it now than
Yeah.
I would have been able to at the time. Like,
Yeah. Or if you
yeah,
had if you could access it's interesting, dude. It's so fucking interesting to look back and be like, wow, I picked that up really fast. My brain was really moldable in that moment, you know? If
yeah,
you could turn on your brain moldability, because sometimes, dude, someone will tell me something like 3 times in a row and I'll forget exactly like the exact words or whatever that it was. Like I'm not good with that kind of thing. But then other times, like I'll learn something and I'll be like, oh, that's locked in,
right,
completely
right.
accessible. Like I remember it word for word,
Yeah,
that whole thing. And it's just like, it's weird. Like teaching has all these different methods, like visual, audio, like visual, like vocal or like auditory learning, right?
yeah, yeah,
But those are like all little like pieces, and it's not like, if there's 10 pieces, those are 3 of them.
right.
And like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes everything comes into a line and you're like, ooh, I remember that.
Right. Dude, I don't even know if that's purely learning styles. I think it's more so just like whatever's important to you. If something's
Yeah,
really important to you, you're going to hang on
true.
to it. Dude, I remember like when I was a little kid, back in like 2012 when Skyrim came out, or was it
Mm,
11? Either early in the 2010s,
yeah.
like I was really into it. I loved fantasy and like I remember I had a little 11, 12-year-old brain. Like that shit was firing all the time.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
playing Skyrim and I was just like, whoa. And I remember I learned all the lore,
yeah,
all the lore of Skyrim because it was important to me. And I was just
yeah.
like, I know all this shit now. And like, bro, I feel like I could still recall like parts of it. Like it's
Mm,
crazy how one thing that seems important to you at a time, like, and I would just get into shit like on a whim when I
yeah.
was a kid. Like all of a sudden I'd be on this new thing. And it was like I just learn everything about it.
Mm.
And I think something that's trodden me down as I've gotten older is like I realize how much more there is to things, and I haven't learned all of it. And then that bums
Right.
me out.
Right.
Like,
That bums me out about guitar. So, dude, that's a perfect example. I have a perfect example to go with that statement. Like, um, just like you're saying, I learned guitar, all on YouTube, and I fucking was so into it. Like, I could never imagine learning as much as I learned in like probably like 3 or 4 months of like serious, like every day I would play on YouTube, go on YouTube, learn some shit. And like my brain was just like, okay, this is what we're doing. Like we're learning this, like, and that's it, you know?
yeah,
And,
yeah,
like, the more you go into that state, like more you practice that, the better you get at it. But it's like I learned a lot of guitar, a lot of basic guitar stuff. I'm not like, crazy at guitar at all, by any means. I can play like basic shit. And now as I'm older, I'm like, you just like start to realize like, okay, like 100,000 people fucking play guitar, and like it's so hard to play, like it's so hard to stand out, like because it's very complicated, it's very difficult, and
yeah.
that kind of like weigh you down. But it's just interesting, like the more you learn, the more you learn that you don't know anything, that kind of thing. But
It kind of sucks though, because that childlike confidence and narcissism is kind of what carries you into getting passionate about something and being one of those people who really does know. Like
that's true.
being able to keep that up through your life. Like I hear so many people talk about like, you should really try like as a human being to rediscover that childhood state of mind because it's going to
Yes.
offer you so many benefits. And like I feel like that's such a hard thing to do.
Yeah, that dude,
Like,
that definitely.
I mean, I feel like sometimes I think tripping helps a little bit because it kind of
Mhm.
puts a, fresh like layer of snow over your like sledding hill. So it's just like
Right.
you get a little bit more like mentally, okay, like what can I get into? Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
really weird. As we get older, we really like to settle into like one specific thing. So it's like, we also like find comfort in proficiency. So when we really
Right.
like one thing, it's like, oh, I'm going to start something else over and suck at it. No, I grinded to be good at this thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And that
The new
sucks.
the new beginnings, dude. Like,
Yeah. The new beginnings are
dude,
hard for people.
and we start to like, it does seem that we start to, something just happens and we're like, okay, we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like we used to have infinite time as kids. There was never like, it was never like, oh, like, if I don't do this now, when will I? Like I got to get to work. It was just like, I'm just doing me. Like there's no time
Right.
involved in this situation. And now it's like, well, you got to get a job, and you got to, you just graduated. You don't want to sit on that degree,
Yeah.
and you got to, have a family, settle down, that kind of thing. It's like, yeah,
That shit's, it sucks. Cause like there are things that you really want, but you're right. Like you really just are not living for it anymore. You're not living for living. Like when you're a kid, you're purely living.
right.
It's nuts. Like,
And I think that's why like some travel and like some break is like really needed, like for people to feel like that they can, like at least for me, I feel like I want to make sure that I take that time for myself so that when I do like settle down, like I'm ready for it, and I feel like I did what I had to do beforehand, and then from there the process can continue, and I can have kids and support them until they're able to do their travel before they settle down.
yeah,
Like that loop is like a broken loop if I don't get to like do me first.
yeah, I do. Dude, that's very tough. Like,
It's scary is what it is, and it's not the safe option, and it's not the option that people advise you to take. they want you to do what they did. They want you to go to work and work for the next 50 years. And then, it's like, it's interesting, dude, like what you do with your life. Like this dude, the same dude that we were talking about earlier, who was talking about science as a tool. He was also talking about how he just like got really into boats because he was trying to buy something on Craigslist, and he found this boat for $4,000. And he was like, oh my God, I thought a boat was like an infinite amount of money. It's only $4,000. And then he got super into boats, and he went and like built a boat, started sailing. He was doing these, he did he did a solo mission from San Francisco down to like somewhere in Mexico and back by himself on only a sailboat with no engine and all pistons, no technology, or not pistons, all what's it called? Like he used like map and compass and all that shit.
Oh,
No radar, no GPS, nothing, dude. Completely just map and like that kind of thing. And he just like went with his buddies and like learned how to sail.
yeah.
Um,
That's a cool skill to have. That's like being a pilot.
yeah, it's dope as fuck.
Really cool skill.
And think about all that time that he was able to just like figure out who he was. He said part of it, he took like 14 kids. Him and his buddy, no, just him and 14 kids went out on I know that sounds fucked up,
A
but
little.
this wasn't really creepy or anything.
All right.
Just a bunch of parents like let their kids go on this sailing mission
Yeah.
into the Bahamas. And he said every day the kids wanted to like do something, like all they would do is just fish and sail. And like they said every day like the kids wanted to like swim or like do something that like he didn't advise or whatever, and he would play rock paper scissors with them. And if he won, that kid got, or if the kid won, they got to do what they wanted to do. And if he won, then that kid had to like do, he got to make up the rule, and he would pick like each kid's biggest insecurity and then make them like face it every day for the rest of the trip.
Wait, what?
So it would be like, okay, Timmy wants to go swim with the sharks, fucking idiot. Okay, Timmy, I get it that you like the sharks, but like you don't like talking to Susie. So every day, like you have to have a conversation with Susie, and that makes you really uncomfortable because like you don't know how to communicate well with other people. And then he would be like, okay, Elizabeth, like you really like being like looking pretty and putting on makeup, and we're out in the middle of the boat. Like you're not allowed to like shave or put on like any makeup or anything for the rest of this trip, or that kind of thing.
That feels like a peyote cult or something. Like
it does feel a little bit weird, but I think he was trying to like get them into like this different mindset,
I
where
wasn't
like,
even I wasn't even saying it's weird. It's like a woke kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like conquer the demons that are weighing you down. Like,
yes.
Where the fuck did he got that from sailing alone?
I don't know, but that's the thing.
So interesting.
This kid was young and he's out there with and like, I just thought that was infinitely interesting. Like, what a great fucking idea. Like making this person like write a poem and say it out loud at dinner. Like,
yeah.
And like, he just said it was such a good way for them to like realize their humanness and like become aware of like who they are and like that kind of thing out on the boat in the ocean, and like the fact that no one's out there to judge you, like it's just you and everyone else, like
right. Yeah, it's an important lesson that a lot of people can't get to. Like
really cool.
Yeah dude, fear is the mind killer, man. Like make sure you're not giving into that, but it's so hard not to. Like it's so we get so many conflicting signals where it's like, did this person like interpret this that way? Did I offend this person? Like all this shit. And it's like, you gotta just be like, they'll interpret the positive. Like I saw this thing where it was like, I think this was another TikTok, like any well-adjusted person sees the positive in whatever it is they're hearing. And I was like, so like, how does that work? So like somebody says something that you might assume is slighting to you, like just assume the positive.
The benefit of the doubt kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's dope.
That's hard to get to. That's really hard to get to.
It's even hard for positive people to get there. Like me. Like that's hard for me to get there too a lot of the time.
I feel like I know it comes from a place of anxiety where
Right.
it's just like, I'll say something and I'm like, oh shit, that could totally be misconstrued. And then it's like you have a second where you're like,
Right.
so it's so fucked. Like, I will say I'm starting to love having overly ridiculous, anxious thoughts because then you can just go, all this is such bullshit. Like you get this like sense of like just like catharsis the next day where you're like, I'm open, I'm totally in touch with myself. Like I feel everything, I'm connected to the universe, all of that. Like,
Dude. Oh, that just reminded me. I think I sent you this TikTok. You know that dude with like the crazy like eyes that I send you all the time. He talks really fast.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
He just has cool eyes. They're not crazy, but um he I think I sent you this one. It's like it's for people that don't know, it's like a TikTok dude and he like has like his outer like basically he acts like as his mind and then like like the other part of his mind that's trying to battle like his mental health problem, right? And so he'll be like, oh, like I'm so anxious today or whatever, listen to this, and then like in the other it'll flash to like the part of him that's like trying to fight it, and he talks wicked fast and he like prescribes like certain like thought processes basically. And the video that I sent Nate was about him saying like I'm so mad, like lashing out, and then like he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. And then it was like another guy in his head, and like it's just him talking the whole time, but like he's playing this other guy, and the other guy's like, fuck, I'm like lashing out like all this, and then like he's consciously like watching that guy in his head lash out like that emotion take place, but like not responding. And then the guy's like, what, you're not going to tell me like to stop? And he's like, no, I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah.
Like I know that was took me forever to explain that whole thing, but like is
No,
that what you're feeling like? Like you're like, yeah, like you can go ahead and be fucking stupid because like I'm over here and I know
exactly.
like I'm a monkey in the sky watching the cloud float by.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I bet
separated.
meditation has helped you with that.
I think so because I've been doing it and I've been becoming conscious of like just my soul,
Yeah.
like bereft of anything else. And it's like I've had so many times where it's like this state of mind exists for just a little bit. So I'll have conversations with myself and I'm just like I'm smiling, like I'm laughing because it's just like, oh, I'm happy in the fact that like I have zero anxiety in this moment and I can tell that it's an entirely different person who like a better person, like one that I wish I was all the time, that I just get cut off from. Like,
Mm,
dude,
but
that
he's
shit,
there.
it sucks. Like, but meditation has helped that in those moments it happens. And then when you make like a realization, you're like, oh, okay, good. Like it
Right.
happens after those moments of like intense anxiety where you realize it's just ridiculous. Like, yeah, if only it was possible to be there all the time. Like,
I know.
that's why I think, that's why I really think I need to take ayahuasca. Like, that'll do it for me. That near death experience, I already know when I get too like paranoid or too anxious, I break through and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I realize it's all fake for a second and I'm here.
Mm,
With ayahuasca, it might just be like I go so fast through it that it just breaks it.
I hope so.
That's why I'm excited for post COVID because like ayahuasca retreats don't cost that much.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, you can go to like it's like a few countries in South America.
Mm. So, oh, I was gonna tell you this is like different from ayahuasca. If you want to go down that, we can. But I was just gonna
No. I don't have anything else to say. Although, dude, do you mind? Can I pee again? I have to pee
go
so
ahead.
bad. I
Hey,
don't
go ahead. No worries.
pick up on this. Please do not forget it.
I won't. I won't. Um, no, dude. I just had a quick little like finish up thing, or like just a side note about the meditation thing the other day. Earlier this break, Carolyn and I were like not good about like while we were at school. We were both like doing a little routine. Like she likes to do a little journaling and meditation, and I was doing like um the miracle morning routine.
Yeah.
And this like the start of the vacation, we weren't very good about just like keeping that up when we were home, because I would stay over at her house and we would just like kind of wake up and go about our day without doing that.
Yeah.
So we were like, we should try and like be better, because she just came back, about doing that. So the other day we woke up and like went and like got off the bed onto like the wall, like up back against the wall, which is like how I like to meditate. And she sat right next to me, and I like had my hand on her leg, like, and she had her hand on my leg, and we like meditated together for like,
Did you feel like a weird kind of like spiritual connection?
dude, it was pretty awesome. Like that was a sick bite you just had, dude. You just pile drove those chips into your mouth.
You have to.
Yeah, you got to. The salt right now is probably tasting right.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Bro, I was listening to what you were saying though.
I know.
Do you feel
Yeah.
like do you feel like you guys got closer after that? Like,
It was very relaxing, and it was very it was easier to meditate. It was still like the typical challenges of meditating, but I felt like I got there faster.
that's interesting. I'll tell you this. The other day I went to see Callie, and
Mm.
like just being around her for a little bit, I was like, oh my God, like I just I felt so much better. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about this, but like it really like just spending time around like that person who like you really, really love, like you get like reminded of like everything that like makes them like so amazing, like what you miss, like
Yeah.
everything that like really impacts your life. Like it's at those moments where it's just like, holy fuck, like I I'd be stupid not to live in a way that I extend that love to like everybody. I wish I could do that. But
Mm.
like I remember over the summer, like Callie would spend like a week up here, and it would just be like I'd feel like a vessel of love. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I felt good, like, you know, she was around like good vibes. We were like very relaxed. It was just like, there's no pressure, like it's summer, whatever. And yeah, like it was
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
just being around her, like seeing her in person, I realized like how much I miss out on when I'm not around her. Like,
Mm.
and we were worried, like, is this codependency? But it's like, you know, we're not, it's not like we're like deeply troubled when we're away from one another. We don't use
Right.
one another. It's just like this like real love where you feel like you're a better version of yourself when you're around the other person. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I definitely feel that. I like with Carolyn, it's always like it's just better to be like when I can stay over her place, like she sleeps better, and like I'm happier like the next day, like I'd go at school. What's that?
Isn't that a weird thing?
Yeah, it is odd that like somebody else could have that much effect over like positive effect, because we know that people can have negative effect over our mood, and like
Right.
we do see cases where people are really kind to us, and like it's really profound, and like we recognize that, but it's a different thing. It's a different thing with a significant other, and like I would leave her place and go back to Springfield just like ready to conquer the world. Like I was
Yeah,
like really happy, like you said, like a vessel of love, like and that was like extended to other people, like
right.
I'd
You
be
feel like
back,
you
like
put
I'd be
one
ready
out.
to help. Yeah,
Yeah.
just recharged.
Yeah, dude, it's so weird because like
Yeah.
yeah, it's odd. It's weird trusting myself to like have that kind of a relationship with somebody where I rely on them for like so much.
Yeah.
Also, like it's so beautiful. Like it's something that you just want to be like, oh fuck, I should be putting like all of my energy into this. Like,
Right. Yeah. Dude, it's a good thing. It's a I feel pretty lucky to be in that kind of relationship with somebody. It's pretty I feel like it's pretty it can be few and far between to have this kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I know for a fact, like I've never had a girlfriend who I feel this way about. Like
Right.
it's weird. It's you find the person who like really clicks with you, and it's not just like, oh, you have the same music taste or you have the same hobbies. It's just like you understand each other on like such a deep level.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
why that person acts the way they act, and you can appreciate the fact that they're acting that way. And it's like, I
Yeah.
see the amount of restraint you're having in this area, given your issues. Like,
Yeah.
I respect and appreciate you and love you for that. Like,
Yes,
it's
dude.
crazy. It's crazy.
It's
Like,
insane.
I,
I Go ahead.
uh, I was gonna say, like, just finding a way to love one person like that opens up the floodgates.
It does.
Have that for like everybody if possible. It's so
Mhm.
hard to get to there though.
Yeah. Yeah. I was saying to Carolyn on the phone the other night, she was in Amherst. I was like, yeah, like you like I feel like I'm talking to you, but I got like a direct line to like how you're feeling at all times.
Right.
Like even just in the way she responds to her text messages, I know how she's feeling.
Yeah, yeah. You get a sense after a while.
100%, dude. And I was like, it's like a spidey sense, bro. And she's like, what do you mean? No, you don't. I was like, yeah, I do. I really do. Like,
Spidey sense.
yeah, it's interesting, dude. Yeah.
Well, people don't want to like, yeah, people don't want to acknowledge that that's a thing. Like, it's so easy to just go, I'm fine. Like, I find myself, Callie and I were talking about this the other day. Like, we find ourselves putting on a face for like one another where it's like, oh, I know you're not having a good time. So I'm going to act like I'm in a good place. And now here, maybe this will help you. And it doesn't help either one of us because now we're like, well, I'm happy for you, but fuck, man. Then this just makes me like anxious about where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah, it's so like,
Relationships can be hard like that, dude. Just like
but
especially this time of your life too.
yeah, yeah. But like understanding the issues that somebody has and like really connecting with them at a deep level, you're just
Right.
like, oh my God, like I get exactly why you're at like the place that you're at. And I'm not offering advice. It's just like, you know, I understand what you're going through. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm here for
Yeah.
you. Like, but
Yeah.
having that for everybody is really tough because you kind of like you have to find a way to prioritize yourself while also still like prioritizing others. Like I saw this thing the other day where it was like, nothing in the natural world exists for itself. The sun shines for the plants grow for the herbivores, and the herbivores exist for like the carnivores. Like
Yeah.
nothing exists for itself. So why should we do that in like a society or system that we can create? Like we should
Yeah.
be existing for others, whether it's our family, like, your community, your friend group, people
Mm.
as a whole, your country, like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I think it's like manifesting this idea that like it actually is gonna take you more energy like to not act like that. Like someone could be rude and you could say, wow, I'm so sorry you feel that way. I hope everything's okay and walk away. Or you could say, fuck you, man. And then you could be in a bad mood for the rest of your day. And like, think about how much more energy it takes to be mad, and upset. And like, and then you'll feel shitty after. But if you're actually nice and like understanding, then you'll feel good after because you'll be like, I think I handled that well. And like,
yeah.
it's manifesting that into like a real repeatable um instinct, like it's so
Bro,
hard.
it's tough for most people. Most people can't do that, I feel.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, a big thing of that I think is empathetic intelligence. But just like physical intelligence or academic or intellectual, analytical, all these different kinds of intelligences, you know, empathetical intelligence is its own thing. You learn how to be empathetic to people. Like they have their own issues that is separate from me.
Mm.
And empathy isn't just I accept this other person and I grieve for their scenario. It's what you're saying. It's understanding that person and separating yourself from them, saying like, I am my own thing and they are their own thing. I grieve for them. Like I saw this thing earlier today that really made me think. Like it was like people with anxiety often project their own emotional state onto another person, and the intensity of that emotional state makes it seem as though they have some degree of empathy, like a higher degree. And I considered myself, I'm like, oh, like I think I'm an empathetic person. I feel like I can feel people's emotions. Then I just realized, like, you can't read people's emotions. Like, what the fuck? Of course. Like, that made so much sense when I read that. Like,
Right.
it's like, yeah, of course, I'm just putting myself onto other people. Like,
Right.
it's an
Right.
individualistic perspective. Like, it's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And people do that all the time. I mean, I do that too. It's like,
So hard not to.
yeah, it's just like the only reason that you think that that might be true is like if that person relates to, like, says like, oh yeah, like that's how I feel about something. You're like, oh yeah, like I know that, like I know that about you. But it's
Right.
like, no, you like know that about yourself, and it's like they also experience that as well,
Right.
but not in the same way that you do. Yeah.
It's nuts. Like, I was under the false impression that this kind of like empathy, like, meant that I wasn't like into myself. But then I just realized, like, oh my God, it is the most into yourself you can be, where you posit your emotions as other people's around you. Like, you're not really hearing them.
Hmm.
Like, yeah,
It's
really
yeah,
struck me. I don't know why, but
yeah.
it's weird, man. Like, I think with a lot of things, um, we kind of prescribe that negative aspect of ourself onto other people.
Mm.
With politics, like, I think that's a great place. Like, we assume that these people are really like extreme because maybe there's a part of ourselves that is extreme, and we're just like, well, that crazy aspect of myself, I know only them who makes no sense would like tack on to these points of view. And like, we're
Right.
not realizing there is a very like different set of like developmental gates that you like go through, like from that to have that point of view. Like, it's weird. Like, I can't think of a single very conservative person who's had the same upbringing as me. It just, they wouldn't end up that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ended up this way if my parents weren't both very liberal.
Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, we just all need to be able to think differently together.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because if we could figure out a way to do that, we don't all have to agree, but we can disagree together.
Exactly. People just aren't comfortable with it. We get too much comfort from being in agreement with the people around us.
Yeah, and disagreeing with the others.
Yeah.
A lot of creature comfort there.
Yeah. Dude, is this the place to end it?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Be a good person, everybody.
Yeah. Speak of people. We love
Try
all
and
of you. Love the people around you.
yeah,
Tag.
do unto others. Do the Bible shit.
Original hippie revolution.
Yeah, exactly, bro. The golden rule. Treat others as you would want to be treated, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. Episode 13.
Signing off.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.